and I think one thing that a lot of people aren't considering, I'd like to get your thoughts on, and this is something I kind of wrote in my Substack this week, is, I spent a lot of time last year trying to reconcile the listings that I did see
Hmm.
versus what I was seeing in front of my eyes, right? As I went out on the road to all of these different cities. And
Hmm.
also based on what I was seeing with permits, things just
Yep.
weren't making sense. And, that's when I started diving into the MLS,
Hmm.
over 600 of them in this country, who's
Hmm.
aggregating them, who's not. Are
Yep.
they using broker sites? Are they using building sites?
Yep.
And that brought me to an article that Inman did in September about pocket listings. And,
Hmm.
everyone in the industry will tell you it's not a thing, except it
It's
was
a thing.
such a thing
It
that
is.
NAR went crazy in 2015, did presentations like, and these stories I would hear, like custom builds for
Hmm.
Airbnb, for instance, that would get sold on Facebook.
Hmm.
And then on top of it, you have the private note sales that
Hmm.
nobody's tracking. And these are
Yeah.
kind of those
Yeah.
all in the family. Well, I say all in the family because they do transact among themselves, but didn't initially start that way. It starts with them going, they see somebody that's a little bit delinquent.
Hmm.
They reach out to them
Hmm.
and they say, hey, we want to help you out with your loan. We'll
Hmm.
pay your mortgage. We'll maybe
Right.
give you $5,000. And once we find an investor, we're going to buy that property from you, pay off the
Mm.
mortgage, et cetera. All kinds of these sub two. I'm sure you've heard
Yeah.
of it.
Oh, I've heard of
But
it. Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And so, I think that that's the other thing to your point about economists not realizing things have changed. I think that in the real estate industry, people have not understood that the people have started transacting in different ways. And it's
Amen.
it's
Yes.
kind of not showing up in those traditional metrics like the listings, for instance. And one thing that I've recently noticed is that the builders seem to be pulling their listings at the end of the year. It's not that they didn't go away. They're trying to work with,
Yeah.
certain people. And,
Mhm.
we know that the Fed uses realtor.com. That's their source for inventory.
Sure.
But what I've noticed, I did a big scrape of the builders and I looked at, where those properties were listed. They weren't on
Hmm.
Realtor, they were on Zillow. And I
Mm.
think, and that was new. Like they
Yep.
usually list them on all. So
You're
I
right.
think there's like some tricks out there. There's some
Mhm.
things that people, but I like you, that's why I track weekly listings. I think we're going to
Yep.
see that and we've already
Good.
seen it. But I think that there is probably inventory out there. Right now, if you don't you there's 11 months of non-annualized of new builds
Mhm.
inventory out there. It's a
Yeah. So
lot of
yeah.
inventory.
So first off, there's so much you said there that I agree 100% with, but let's break them down in pieces.